This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Okay, actually it's not. But how many times have you heard that exact line in YouTube videos before? Quite a lot, I presume. VPN providers will tell you that their service is the ultimate security tool. With the magical powers of a VPN, they claim that for roughly €80 or dollars for the first 24 months, you get privacy protection, a complete online anonymity, and a secure internet experience. Sounds too good to be true, right? We'll break down those claims together, but first let me explain how VPNs work. Think of the internet like a grocery store. Your ISP is the security camera watching everything you buy. Whilst a VPN is just like a personal shopper buying things for you, the camera still sees the shopper, it just doesn't know who they're shopping for, even though they know that the personal shopper is doing it for someone else. It sounds like increased anonymity until you realize that the only thing you did was to transfer your data from one person to the other. Instead of letting your ISP know everything about your browsing experience, you're letting your VPN provider this privilege. Back to our grocery shopping analogy, I said that the shop owner has no idea for whom the personal shopper works. It technically is true, but it's not the full story. Based on the items the middleman chooses, it is possible to infer what type of person they are shopping for, and the more items they pick, the easier it gets to pinpoint the true end client. In the cyberspace, this is called browser fingerprinting. It is a series of information that are collected about you that helps in uniquely identifying people online. Things like battery details, the way your computer reacts to certain requests, your operating system, your graphics card, or even screen resolution are among many other types of information that can be gathered through a simple web browser. Alright, so in terms of anonymity, unless work is being done on the side of the user, VPNs are not going to magically make you anonymous. But they do secure your connection, right? Sure, you do use an encrypted tunnel when you use a VPN, but the same applies when you go to a website using HTTPS. The letter S already means that the connection is encrypted. So even if your ISP knows that you connected to a website, they have no way of knowing exactly what you did with it. Besides, since every VPN provider uses dedicated IP addresses for that purpose only, if a website really wanted to, they could decide to ban any VPN-related IP addresses. On top of that, when we talk about VPNs, we do not usually think about it that way, but a VPN is a software like many others, and software contains vulnerabilities. Let me give you 3 examples of real-world critical vulnerabilities to show you what can potentially be done against it. In CVE 2024-21-76-2, a flaw exists in Fortinet's 40OS which allows unauthenticated users to send some maliciously crafted requests, making it possible to execute code remotely on the VPN server and potentially giving access to the entirety of the network. In CVE 2024-3400, an unauthenticated user can execute code remotely on the Palo Alto firewall as the root user, meaning that the attacker can pretty much do anything they want on the server, including snooping every single network transaction. And lastly, CVE 2022-42-47-5 is a vulnerability affecting Fortinet's 40OS once again. This time, it is a heap overflow attack, allowing unauthenticated users to execute arbitrary code on the server. You might be right in saying that those vulnerabilities only affect firewalls such as Fortinet or Palo Alto, just to name them. While I just listed the most critical ones, you have to keep in mind that solutions such as OpenVPN also had CVEs in the past and certainly will continue to have some during its whole lifetime. In cybersecurity, it is established that the less software you use, the less security holes you have to take care of, and it simply does not make sense to add a dependency that might contain a vulnerability one day or another that could expose your whole internet usage, and even compromise your whole network, especially if you can afford not to use it to begin with. Furthermore, what guarantees you exactly that your VPN provider is not going to give out everything they know about you as soon as they are pressured to? IPVanish, PureVPN, UFO VPN, news articles about VPN providers or other secure services giving every information they have about their customers to authorities are plentiful. Having said that, you might not care about the supposed security advantages of a VPN and are just interested in the geo-restriction bypassing capabilities. If you are, that's absolutely okay, even though it is kind of a grey area, and I am surprised that a company encourages people to infringe other companies' terms and services. But then again, unless you frequently need to use servers from multiple countries, it might even cost you less to rent your own VPN server by turning it off when you don't need it. Or if you have the chance of having a friend living in a desired country, it might even cost close to nothing in terms of electricity bills to host a VPN server on a tiny microcomputer such as a Raspberry Pi Nano. If you are still not convinced and wish to buy a VPN subscription nonetheless, I have one very last thing to say. At least consider voting with your wallet by buying a subscription from people who care about your rights to privacy and security. Companies like Mulvad, who create tools to test your security and protect your browsing experience, and who proposes an awesome system that enables users to have a temporary identifier without any email, username, or even credit cards associated with it. They are completely transparent on how they do not log any kind of user activity, and their identifier system alone is already much more respectful of user anonymity than requiring users to register personally identifying information that could one day or another bite you in ways you might not even imagine. If you found value in this video, consider giving it a like and subscribing to watch more upcoming quality content. Also, if you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take on VPNs and privacy.